I have two apologies to make. One is that I shouldn't be so disrespectful. It's hard for me to say this with a straight face. G.K. Chesterton, great author, he said, that which is ridiculous deserves to be ridiculed. If you've never read any of G.K. Chesterton, you should. Get, if nothing else, get Heretics and Orthodoxy. He wrote a chapter in, I believe it was Orthodoxy, The Ethics of Elfland, that Tolkien, J.R. Tolkien, said was his inspiration to write The Lord of the Rings, to write The Hobbit and all of those fantasies, those allegories. So G.K. Chesterton is a great man. So there's my first apology. My second apology is a little bit more on a serious note. Dr. Alan Keyes, many of you have voted for him in the past. Almost all of you know who he is, a former U.S. ambassador under Ronald Reagan to the United Nations, presidential candidate, ran against Barack Obama for the Illinois Senate when the Republicans threw him under the bus and abandoned him. Wouldn't it have been great if Alan Keyes had won that election? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, anyway, Dr. Keyes and I are friends, and the other day he rightly rebuked me. And I said to him, I am rightly rebuked, and I will make good with an apology publicly, and I will credit you. I said some kind words about Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, on this program. Many of you are Ben Carson fans. And Dr. Keyes pointed out to me something I did not know, which was that Ben Carson endorsed a candidate for the U.S. Senate from, I think, the state of Washington or Oregon, who was a pro-abort, a baby killer. Okay? It reminded me of Rick Santorum, who I think is a good man, but Rick Santorum endorsed Arlen Specter for the U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania. Arlen Specter was a maniacal baby killer. And Santorum endorsed him, and he also endorsed Christy Todd Whitman. And she was a maniacal baby killer. He endorsed her for New Jersey governor. And the pro-life movement turned on him, and he lost his re-election. Pro-life movement said, no, you're going to endorse baby killers? We're not going to support you. And Ben Carson, by endorsing a baby killer, showed that babies are not that important to him. Just not that important. He's not even in office. He doesn't have any political IOUs. Why would he do that? I'll tell you why. In my opinion, he wants to be, you ready? Not the president. He wants to be the the Surgeon General. Ben Carson, in my opinion, is running for Surgeon General. And to do that, he has to get a little bit of favoritism going on, a little bit of due bills owed. He has to make the rounds and show that he's a player, and he's a team guy. So he's going to endorse a Republican baby killer. And maybe that Republican will be in the U.S. Senate, and maybe that Republican will vote for him to be confirmed as the Surgeon General. I could be totally wrong. Some of this is conjecture on my part. But if somebody is a baby killer, then you could say, look, we're on the same team, we're both Republicans, or we're in the same family, whatever you want to say. But I won't endorse you. I won't endorse you. You support the murder of babies. And I put babies' lives ahead of loyalty to the party. So I apologize for saying kind things about Ben Carson. I will not get behind his candidacy. And I appreciate Dr. Alan Keyes pointing out the error of my ways. And I told him that I spoke to him the other day, and I said, I'm going to make good, and I'm going to apologize publicly. I'll close out this segment by saying this. Look, everyone's got a crazy aunt, okay? Everyone's got a crazy aunt or crazy uncle. And some of them live in the basement, okay? Some of us have a crazy uncle who lives in the basement. He's a part of the family, okay? You invite him to have dinner at Thanksgiving. You invite him to go to church at Christmas. And this is my uncle. And you wink and you nod. And yeah, he's my crazy uncle, right? You don't throw him out of the family. But you know what else you don't do? You don't give him the keys to the car. You don't say, crazy uncle, would you make decisions for our family? What way should our family go in life? Would you govern our investments? Would you help us make decisions on where we should live, who we should borrow money from, or whether or not we should go to Wendy's for a Frosty?
I love having my crazy uncle be a leader. He's a Senate Majority Leader, and he does this thing with his fingers.
Maybe not. When I was a prisoner in a prison work camp in Alpharetta, Georgia, I had a lot of time on my hands to research who the bad guys were in the death of our culture. And I wrote Accessory to Murder. It is an overview of our political, cultural, media, and religious adversaries that are accomplices to the death of our culture. I encourage you, get a copy of this and learn the who's who of the bad guys. One of the greatest joys and passions that I have had for almost my entire life is music. And one of the best times that I had was putting together some albums in Nashville of songs that I wrote. One of the albums is called Dark Sunglasses Day. This is a country album, a lot of love songs and patriotic music. We've made it available to you online, and I hope that you'll go take a listen. You might be pleasantly surprised. You might even find yourself singing along.